Everyone, welcome to Nutrition Tidbits. This is Aarti. I am a nutrition student. I'm a dietetic intern. I'm working towards my Registered Dietitian Credential. So I thought I would use this platform to teach you how to cook healthy food without making it boring. I want to show you how you can change your favorite recipes to healthy ones without compromising on the taste. It's got to be mostly Indian, but I love to try international foods and keep trying new foods, and I will help you find the best recipes and best, tastiest, healthiest dishes that you can ever eat in a fun way. Alright, once again, welcome to Nutrition Tidbits. Let's get cooking! Today we're going to see how to make Paal Kozhukattai. This is a traditional Indian sweet and a breakfast. It's usually made with rice flour, but I tweak the recipe a little bit with including more whole grains like ragi millet flour and adjusting the proportions of the traditional recipe to make it more healthy and more fun to eat. Let's check out the ingredients now. So for this I have 1 cup of ragi flour. It's called finger millet. I would highly recommend that you have this in store, because during my recipes I will include more of this flour, because this is like highly nutritious and it's so versatile, and we can do like plenty of magic with this, and it's great for your health. 1/4 cup of rice flour. So just to get the texture right without compromising on the taste. I have 1/2 cup of jaggery. You can use any kind of sugar. I prefer unprocessed sugar. It could be like brown sugar or any sugar, coconut sugar or any sugar of your choice. And I have like 1/2 to like 1 teaspoon, very less amount of oil while making the dough, so to help prevent sticking. And I have few cardamom pods, like 4 for the good fragrance. I love the smell of cardamom. I have like 1/8 a teaspoon of salt, which is quite very less because it's a sweet dish. It doesn't require a lot of salt. It's just to enhance the taste. I have 1.5 cup of water and 4 cups of low-fat milk. And this is going to be the special ingredients. You can use either, it's going to be coconut milk. You can use either light coconut milk or the thick traditional coconut milk, or if you're going to make it from scratch, you can use the first press or the second press, but the quantity depends on how much you're planning to use, which we'll talk about when we start cooking. Okay, so these are the basic ingredients. Like if I want to go over once again, we have ragi flour, rice flour, jaggery, oil, cardamom, water, milk, coconut milk, and some salt. Alright, let's get cooking. Start the recipe. I have this 1.5 cup of water. I'm gonna put it in the pan for it to boil. To this, I'm gonna add the salt and this little bit of oil that we had. When the water is boiling, I'm gonna get the millet flour, the ragi flour, and the rice flour, and add this boiling water to this mixture. A good stir. Mix it really well. Have to add a little bit more water if needed. That's totally fine. All we need to make it is to a dough thick consistency. So that's why I say that the ingredients, like, it doesn't work the same every time. So it's all about, you don't have to be an expert in cooking. You just have to like try to have fun with it and experiment. So like whenever I try to follow a recipe, it never works for me. So I always try to make it my own. So I don't want you to, I just want to take the positives from the recipe and make your own. So cooking doesn't stress you out. You don't have to come back and just to look at the counts and the numbers. All right. Now I'm gonna make it rest it for about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna make small tiny balls to make the Paal Kozhukattai. boil this milk along with coconut milk. I'm going to tell you the ratio and proportion and why I'm choosing that proportion. So I have 4 cups of milk in it, and I'm going to add it to the same bowl with the boiling water. This is done. And then I have jaggery. It's about half a cup that I told you, and along with the cardamom pods. I'm going to add this both in the same pan and let it boil. Cardamom pods, I recommend just breaking it a little bit and just squeezing it to get the most flavor. Or you can even choose to use cardamom powder if you have. This I would just take it out while it's serving. Yeah. While this mixture is boiling, now we have the dough ready to be kneaded and made into balls. A little bit extra oil to put it in my hands to prevent sticking. I'm going to add some oil, put it in my hands, get the dough off, make a ball. You can choose to make big or small balls depending on your likeness. Like making small balls is going to take a lot of time. I prefer making medium-sized balls unless I get help from the kids or when I have a lot of time, because it's more fun to eat small balls, but I love to eat this too. So this is gonna be my size. Traditionally, this recipe is made with rice flour. I tweaked it a little bit to use the red millet flour, ragi flour, to increase its nutritional values, fiber. You get more B vitamins because it's not polished. So it's obviously much better than white rice. I wouldn't say rice is bad because that's why I added white rice too. So just like increasing the amount of fiber and whole grains to your diet is gonna help you improve your health, improve your cholesterol, improve your blood sugar levels, and a lot more. I've got all different shapes, as you can see. The big ones are mine and those tiny ones are for my little hands. I want to tell you a little bit about coconut. That's another reason why I chose this as my first recipe, because like coconut milk is kind of on the debate whether it's good for your health or bad. So there's one thing that you have to keep in mind: there is no good food or bad food. It is okay, but one thing that you need to keep in mind is saturated fat is gonna increase your LDLs. So before we talk about this coconut milk, I want to give you a small gist about what HDL and LDL is. HDL is the high density lipoprotein. HDL is the good cholesterol, and LDL is low density lipoprotein, and it is the bad cholesterol. Certain foods increase your HDL levels and certain foods will increase your LDL levels. So if your LDL level, your good cholesterol is high, that prevents you from a lot of cardiovascular problems. But we need to keep in mind that this is high in saturated fat, that it tends to increase your LDL cholesterol. So we need to be aware of that when using coconut, though it has a lot of goodness in them. One good thing about coconut milk is it helps increase your HDL levels, so which is really good, but it also increases your LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. So this is kind of a debated one, but I recommend not overusing coconut milk in your recipes. But recipes like this, the traditional ones which calls for coconut milk, so you can try to balance it by using like how I am doing it right now, like adding milk, like low fat milk, and tweaking it and adding some thick coconut milk to it to get the texture and the flavor without compromising the taste. So which is what I want you to understand. It's not about just neglecting them, but using them in moderation. Alright, so I have got 2 types of coconut milk. I've got thick coconut milk and thin coconut milk. So the amount you use, so this is very light in fat. It just has 5 grams in 1/3 cup, and this has 12 grams, that's 11 grams saturated fat in 1/3 cup. So this is definitely high in saturated fat. But I am gonna use this, but I'm just gonna use like 2 to 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna use 1, 2, just 2 tablespoons of coconut milk for this recipe, thick coconut milk. If you are gonna use light coconut milk, like if you're gonna use the fresh ones, if you're gonna use the lighter version of your fresh pressed coconut milk, you can use a lot more. But if you're using the first press, or if you're using the thick coconut milk, make sure you use only like 1/3 of a cup. So you have the taste and the moderation. So now we're gonna add this while the milk is boiling. We're gonna add this into the milk, because I always prefer to add coconut milk towards the end so you don't get the oil separation. You just added this. Just gonna mix it up. All those, just scraping the sides. And then while this is boiling, I'm gonna add the balls that we made, just like one by one. Make sure you don't burn your hands, just be careful. So the Paal Kozhukattai is cooking. I've covered it and I'm gonna let it cook for about like 10 to 15 minutes. Simmer it and cook. Otherwise, if you have it on high flame, you will have overflow of the milk. We don't want mess. So the Paal Kozhukattai is ready for you to enjoy. Serve it hot or cold, however you want it to be. Enjoy with your family. Stay healthy. I will see you in another cool episode. Bye bye.